What do you say we do this here at the Swamp? And Graham Mertz will trot on out for his second full year at Florida. Jesse, a year ago, a lot of checkdowns, but a lot of good decisions to lead the SEC in completion.
Yeah, he's a six-year senior, Joe, transferred over from Wisconsin. And last year, that accuracy was just off the charts. Third in the nation, completing 73% of his throws. Now, he did it from the pocket. He did it to all three levels. He can do it outside the pocket as well. And he's facing a Miami secondary that replaces 4 of their 5 starters on the back end. So a little bit of inexperience in games back there. If Florida can keep Graham Mertz standing upright, he's got a shot to have a big game.
Montrell Johnson starts in the backfield with him. Mertz's 44th career start as a college quarterback. Mertz quick to the outside to the very talented Trey Wilson, the most explosive player on the Florida team by far.
He is their most dynamic weapon on offense, Joe, and he really came on at the end of last year. 5 touchdowns in his last 5 games. They lost Ricky Pearsall to the first round to the 49ers, so Trey Wilson now becomes the go-to guy. And in this game, you're going to see him lined up all over the field. They are going to try and get him as many touches as possible.
11 yards to Wilson. Play action. Off the orbit motion as well. And now Mertz is going to run it. And fortunately, he slides. 2nd down and 6. Johnson can't find anything, just maybe a half yard.
Kiko Mauinoa, to me, is the heart and soul of the Canes defense. Does everything for them and can run. And how about Ruben Bain Jr.? He is a terror coming off the edge.
3rd and 5. Tap pass. Wilson struggling to find anything. And how about that front of the Canes as they come up with the big stop on 3rd down?
That's a great play by Elijah Olsen, the transfer from Marshall, coming off the edge. He didn't make the tackle, but he missed the play. And that time, Miami had a bunch of guys mugged up. You're going to see him just shoot off the ball right here. Beats the block. He beats the puller. And that forces Trey Wilson to have to slow down. There is so much athleticism in this front for the Hurricanes.
Jeremy Crawshaw from New South Wales, Australia, to punt away to Ray Joseph. They'll catch at the 16-yard line. Cam Ward, the new star at Miami. He was grossly under-recruited coming out of high school. Ended up playing FCS ball at Incarnate Ward in Texas. He was excellent there. Found his way to Washington State for a couple years and was the big target in the transfer portal.
Nobody knew who he was coming out of West Columbia High School in Texas. Everybody knows who he is now, though.
Here's Damian Martinez. Damian Martinez, speaking of the transfer portal, and look at the drive by the offensive line. He was the star out of Oregon State who came to South Florida.
And he's a 230-pound running back, Joe, that feels right at home running between the tackles. Very comfortable in this zone scheme, and he's the kind of guy that can wear a defense down.
Now they're going with tempo. Remember, there's the coach-to-player communication in the headsets this year. We saw a slower pace of a game in Week 0 in Ireland between Florida State and Georgia Tech.
Xavier Restrepo in the slot is just a monster. Set a school record for catches in a season last year. Jordan Castell started 11 games as a true freshman a year ago. He's a leader on the back end. They need TJ Searcy to be a force.
They go underneath with the quick pitch to George. Jacoby George wrestled down just near the line of scrimmage by Pup Howard, the middle linebacker out of Jacksonville.
And Pup Howard's a big pickup. We talk a lot about the portal. He's coming over from South Carolina at 6'4", 240 pounds, very rangy and very athletic. And that was a nice job of finding the football.
Empty look on 2nd and 8. Ward's going to run it himself, and he's got a lot of room to just jog ahead and coast out for another Canes first down. 12-yard run from Cam Ward. Martinez looking for an opportunity. and then picks that hole to get out to the 44-yard line.
You know, this is a physical running attack from the Miami Hurricanes, Joe. They're a big offensive line. They're running it right at you, and they love to run it right between the guards. There is no mystery. Last year, they ran for 130 yards a game in between the guards. That was most in the country. So they're going to challenge this Florida defense and their front seven to see if they can step up and stop them.
2nd and 6. Ward spins to his left, looking for an opportunity, directing traffic, and what a catch and effort by Restrepo to come back to the ball and make that grab and move the chains again.
Man, and you know Mario Cristobal was holding his breath because that's the cardinal sin as a quarterback. You're rolling to your left, you throw it back across your body to the middle of the field.
13 yards to Xavier Restrepo. Play action. Ward with time. Now darts ahead. Gets free. Looks behind and strides clearly out of bounds just inside the 20-yard line. The other big back, Mark Fletcher, comes in for the Canes after that 24-yard run by Cam Ward. Fletcher gets the call, tries right tackle, but is driven back. He was pushed back by Tyreek Sapp. Second and 10, 3-man pressure. They drop 8 against Ward. Ward, look at all the time he has. Drifts all the way back to the 40-yard line before he throws it downfield and out of bounds. Sold out Swamp, let it roar, 3rd and 10. Ward tried to check down. Arroyo wasn't anywhere near it, and the defense does their job, but we are going to check on a flag back at the 33. ACC-led group of officials with Marcus Woods as our referee.
Personal foul, the roughing the passer, defense, number 1, at the distance of the goal, touchdown.
Justice Boone. Yeah, he's the guy that got the pressure on Cam Ward. He's got to be able to let up a little bit. It happened right in front of the referee, Billy Napier. He cannot believe it.
Defense was going to be walking off the field, and instead it brings it ahead to what is a 1st and goal. And costly penalty by Boone. Short pitch, Martinez. And he was tracked right down the line as he was brought down by Caleb Banks.
I think in the run game, Joe, you can see the athleticism that Florida has in their front seven. These defensive linemen, they're able to disengage, go hunt the football, and linebackers, they can fly sideline to sideline. They're matching the physicality. They bring in a new co-D coordinator in Ron Roberts over from Auburn, a guy that coached on Billy Napier's staff at Louisiana for a couple of years. A lot of familiarity there. Big moment for his defense.
2nd and goal. Ron Roberts, one of the gritty veterans of coaching. Ward drifting back again, floats it complete, and into the end zone goes Cam McCormick, one of the great stories of college football. His 9th year playing the game, and he scores the opening touchdown for the Canes.
And that is such a great job of, again, poised by Cam Ward. I think they had a protection bust up front.
They line up in the swinging gate formation before they bring it back in for a traditional PAT with Andy Borregales. Of course, we saw last week what happened in Ireland on the opening touchdown, where that was executed for a 2-point conversion. Borregales sends it through. Rivalry game here at the Swamp. SEC on ABC. Joe Tessitore, Jesse Palmer, Katie George with you on a scorching hot day in Gainesville. This story, Jesse, of Cam McCormick. You say, how can a guy possibly play 9 years of college football? That's how.
Oh, it's amazing. You'd be hard-pressed to find anybody in college football or sports in general that has had to be more resilient because of injuries and had more to overcome than Cam McCormick.
Back on offense, Florida. Mertz and Johnson in the backfield. Here is Mertz and connecting with DK out to the 35. Isn't that incredible? And then he scores a touchdown to open things up. Mertz downfield, back shoulder, and gets it to Elijah Badger, the transfer from Arizona State.
Yeah, the Gators feel like they've got guys outside that can win one-on-one, throwing fades, goes, and posts. And here the Arizona State transfer just on a fade route. This is a perfectly thrown back shoulder ball.
Play action. Mertz gonna take a shot downfield and overthrows the intended target. Damari Brown had coverage.
That was nice coverage one-on-one. 6'2". You see the size. Just a tiny bit of contact. I think that's a really good no call.
Johnson on second down, and he was met in the hole and driven down by Jaden Harris, the strong safety.
And this is what Miami's defense wants to do, Joe. They want to stop the run on first and second down, set up third and long, and pin their ears back. They're going to play with multiple defensive ends, and right now they've got 3 of them on the field. Elijah Alston, Tyler Barron is out there. They've got Akeem Mesidor out there, and they can stand them up and move them around. It makes it really difficult for centers and guards, especially inside, to deal with that.
3rd and 7 for Mertz. 4-man rush, checks down to Johnson. Johnson cannot turn the corner as he was driven back that time by Wesley Basaint.
Well, that's the benefit when you can get a pass rush with 4, put everybody in coverage, keep your eye on the football, and go and pursue it. Now maybe a little bit of a decision for Billy Napier, kind of in no man's land close to the 40-yard line, but looks like they're going to punt, play field position with Jeremy Crawshaw.
Crawshaw comes out to punt away. Go for that back rotation spin pin and hope to land it. Oh, and a great special teams that time. That was Jim DK, the wide receiver gunner, inside the 5. So they start from inside the 5-yard line. And Fletcher tries to give them running room, but he is stacked up on the inside. The head coach was part of all that great national championship history. Mario Cristobal himself, 2 national titles as an offensive lineman for the Canes. So just a 2-yard run for Fletcher. It's a big opportunity for the Florida defense. Ward quickly gets it out to Arroyo, and the very athletic tight end is able to turn the corner for a first down.
Arroyo is a guy Miami needs to stay healthy this year. Only played 8 games the last 2 seasons, but he is so athletic at 6'4", 245 pounds. Tight ends only had 21 catches last season as a group.
Sidearms it to the outside to Restrepo, but they were right on top of it.
You know, the RPO game is such a big part of this Miami offense. And you see the mechanics of Cam Ward. He's like a shortstop turning too, right? Just catch and release. He gets it out so quickly. It's a lot of pressure on this Gators defense. There's Shannon Dawson, the offensive play caller for Miami. Right now, it feels like after an 11-play drive to open the game, trying to get some more breathing room here at the end of the first quarter.
Second and 9. Ward, you say he scrambles to throw, throws against the grain, and that ball is intercepted. That was Shamar James coming up with the pickoff, and Florida's in business.
And that was the second time in the game you've seen Cam Ward throw it back across his body, ill-advised. And the Gators defense and Shamar James, their heart and soul, That linebacker comes up with the interception.
Now can Florida cash in? Quick bubble. They get it to Trey Wilson. Wilson trying to split defenders as he darts to the 30. Florida's run 9 plays for 47 yards before this drive and punted twice. Now they get great field position. What will they do with it? 2nd and 7. Fakes the bubble. Looks downfield. Doesn't have it there. Mertz decides to run, and this time does lower the shoulders.
Jadis Richard is not a guy he needs to take on. So again, that might be a conversation they have with Graham. Just run out of bounds right here. You got the first down. You don't need to take unnecessary hits.
1st down and 10. After the interception by Shamar. Johnson off the left side. And look at the defense by Miami. Everybody getting to the ball. Mesidor was the first to get there. Tyler Barron as well getting involved.
Well, the guy that I think Miami has to key on now is number 3 for the Florida Gators and identify where he's lining up. This just feels like Trey Wilson territory. You've seen already, even in the last couple of plays, he's been at receiver, he's been at running back. They threw him a swing. They faked a swing to him. Now he's playing wide receiver to the left side of the formation, one-on-one up top, the safety in the middle of the field. Something Graham Mertz is going to be paying attention to.
2nd and 10. Mertz fakes the bubble again to the left. Looks back to the right. Goes deep to the end zone, but thrown behind and to the outside of Khalil Jackson with Damari Brown on coverage.
Well, there's a lot of hand fighting, and the crowd obviously wants pass interference. Damari Brown and Khalil Jackson kind of got locked up. Brown turns around to locate. I think it was more of a push-off than anything from Khalil Jackson.
ACC official Marcus Woods is leading this crew. Here's 3rd and 10. Mertz incomplete as he was looking for Arliss Boardingham. This will be from 41. Out of the hold of Crawshaw. Underwood the snapper. Try to have Florida's first points of the season. And with that, the Gators are on the board. Trace Mack after he hit the 41-yarder. Kicks off 7-3 Miami here. Closing seconds of this first quarter. Martinez is going to bounce it to the right. Finds enough room there as he gets out to the 32-yard line. The intensity of the Canes and the Gators in the heat here at the Swamp. Intended shallow receiver before it went into the hands of Shamar James. Here is Martinez, and look at Martinez when he makes a decision to accelerate and then just steamrolls downfield as he went straight over DJ Douglas.
Well, he has tremendous patience, and for a 230-pound guy, he's got a lot of burst too. I think number 6 for the Gators was surprised at how quickly number 6 for the Canes bounced outside.
17-yard run there for Martinez. That ball was a little shallow for Restrepo, but he's able to haul it in and then dance his way for a first down. Shannon Dawson, the play caller for Miami, who spent 4 seasons at Houston. He's part of the Dana Holgorsen coaching tree. First down, Ward just relaxed and then slings it, and he gets it to Restrepo again. First team All-ACC, Xavier Restrepo.
Yeah, I think we're learning a lot about Cam Ward on this drive too. Remember, he's playing on a new team. They're trying to figure him out as well, Joe. You learn a lot about a guy sometimes. How do they respond after a bad play? After that interception. Now Cam Ward's taking the field. He's marching his offense down the field right now, under control. I think they're learning out a lot about their signal call.
Play action on first down with pressure. One little move buys him time, gets it complete, and getting inside to the 10-yard line was Horton.
Well, he threw it against his body again.
He did.
But this time there was nobody around Horton. At 6'4", he was just spotted up.
Well, he's got the big back in Damian Martinez. It's 1st and 10 technically. The ball's just outside the 10-yard line. There's that sidearm again as they go with the tunnel to Lofton, the true freshman. 2nd and 7. Martinez looking for anything in the middle, but driven back. Pyburn and the rest of that team, and the ball came out there as Douglas is trying to play it, but the officials are waving it dead all the way back at about the 6-yard line.
The runner's forward progress was stopped.
3rd down and 4. Here's Ward, third pressure off the edge as he gets it complete, but taken down right at the line of scrimmage is Martinez, as that was Pup Howard who came up big defensively.
There were so many times a season ago, Joe, where the Gators had coverage busts, especially at the linebacker level. That's a really nice play by Pup Howard, the transfer from South Carolina, staying home, and you saw the athleticism and speed, able to make the tackle.
Andy Borregales comes out for the short field goal attempt. It's just from 23 yards out. And he is as reliable as can be, as the Canes will just to be around campus the past few days and take it all in.
Yeah, just tremendous energy, I think, leading into this game. Everywhere we've been.
Katie, what can you tell us about one of the big Miami stars?
Yeah, Tess, unfortunately for Miami, Ruben Bain, who emerged as their best defensive lineman a year ago and was looking to build on that this season. He was injured on the first drive coming out against Florida. He's been in the locker room ever since being evaluated for an injury. I'll keep you updated as we go.
They're going to have to use a timeout. That's off a dead ball off the kickoff. And with that, we will take a break from here in Gainesville. Johnson, big hole. Montrell Johnson for a first down.
And they've got to be able to get Johnson going.
13 yards for Montrell Johnson. That's 600-yard games a year ago. Mertz on first down, downfield, and the flag reigns in as Badger was the intended target.
He's working against Darrell Porter Jr. that time, and just too much. That was an easy pass interference call to make.
Pass interference. Defense number 2. 15-yard penalty. First down.
Short pitch, Johnson, left side. Johnson adds the shoulder at the end. He's got things going a bit now as he gave it to Maui Noah.
Yeah, Kiko Maui Noah just introduced himself as Johnson on the sidelines. Not a lot of running backs that want to take that on. Johnson did.
2nd and 5. Mertz off play action. Time to step up, drive the ball downfield, but out beyond the stretched arm of Badger, who was covered by Jadis Richard. Webb comes in at running back. He's going to get the call, but he can't get anything. He is taken down right at the line of scrimmage by that very active defensive front.
And a decision here for Billy Napier, crossing the 50, down a touchdown. One of the things the Gators love to do is sort of fake play action, try to freeze linebackers and then get tight ends or running backs outflanking them in the flat.
Trey Wilson starts in the backfield and now splits out. And a timeout is going to be used by Miami. Johnson flanking Mertz. 4th and 5 from the 42-yard line. Mertz on 4th down, pressured, escapes it. And that ball should have been intercepted. It goes incomplete, but a flag is down at midfield, so we will check on that.
It's going to be Brandon Crenshaw Dixon, the right tackle on holding.
Number 65. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
And Ward goes right up to the line to check with them. Here's Ward. That was thrown behind Isaiah Horton. And a flag is down back at the 33.
We get another roughing the passer.
Personal foul. Rough the passer. Defense number 12. 15-yard penalty. First down.
It brought DJ Douglas on a safety blitz.
The ball's at the 43 when it would have been an incompletion. Here's Fletcher as he tries to drive ahead, but TJ Searcy with the tackle.
They believe that Cam Ward can be the key to taking the team to another level this year.
On 2nd and 7, over the middle, complete as he goes to Horton. Just easy 30 yards. Pitch and catch, their longest play today. Ward tried to quick strike it to the end zone to Restrepo, but it's incomplete.
Well, you see all the different arm slots that Cam Ward can throw from, right? I was calling him a shortstop earlier because it literally can come out over top. He can throw it sidearm. He can throw it below sidearm.
2nd and goal. Under center now. Here's Fletcher with a blocker in front, and Fletcher will take it right in. A 10-yard touchdown run from Big Mark Fletcher.
Little misdirection to take it in for the touchdown.
Remember, they had the 30-yard completion to set it up. Player check-in is presented by Allstate.
I think for the most part in this game, Joe, Cam Ward's made some really good decisions. Now, there's been some risky ones, like we saw right here in the throwback to Xavier Restrepo, but in the RPO game, getting it out quickly, doing the right thing, and when no one's open downfield and he sees an open lane, he's taking off and running. He looks like a guy with tons of experience. The moments never seem too big for him. He's been able to create, show you the athleticism. And this offense, for the most part, has looked very, very good and very balanced with Cam Ward calling the shots.
Meanwhile, Florida's only averaging 3.9 yards per play. Miami's 7.4, and Florida's going to go with the big guy in the backfield, Jaden Ball, the true freshman running back, number 13. And a timeout is going to be used by Miami.
When you bring a difference maker in like Cam Ward, it changes everything and it galvanizes your team.
Mertz on 1st down. Ball was batted down. That was a deflected pass right in his face that time.
They lined up the big defensive end opposite Trey Wilson, and he was able to kind of swat this thing away. Look at it, take it back right now. 41 Chase Smith.
Second down for Mertz. They go inside. There's Trey Wilson. Trey Wilson is able to get it out to the 32.
So in these 3rd down situations down at the Gators, you got to help your tackles on the edge, right? They've had some problems with the speed Miami has and the athleticism they have up front. For Billy Napier, you got to find ways to keep tight ends and running backs in to chip these guys off the edge, to give Graham Mertz just a little bit more time to throw the ball.
Remember, they are over on 3rd down. Third down and 3. Mertz with time gets it out quickly, but it's incomplete. First 3 and out today. Jeremy Crawshaw out to punt away, an alumni of Pro Kick Australia. How many times do you hear that nowadays? As he sky punts this and drives it, and calling for the fair catch is Restrepo at the 25. Yep, and Jordan Lyles in the game, the top running back recruit in the country, is going to split out the true freshman from St. Thomas Aquinas in South Florida as he gets it quickly to Restrepo. This guy is so reliable.
Yeah, he really is, and he's just so sudden. He's probably quicker than he is fast, but he just creates separation off the line of scrimmage and just gets open a lot easier. We haven't called his name a ton in this game, but that is going to be a safety blanket for Cam Ward today and throughout the entire season. But when you need a big play, you can count on number 7.
Had 85 catches last year, the Miami single season record. 2nd and 5. Lyle looking to turn the corner, and he kept his balance. It'll be 3rd and short from there.
You can see the speed there by Lyle, Joe. I mean, they have the thunder, right? They've got Damian Martinez, they've got Mark Fletcher, but who's going to be the lightning? Who can be the change of pace back? They lost their leading runner last year, Henry Parrish, to Ole Miss. They're hoping the true freshman could kind of pick up the slack in that category.
3rd and 2. Remember how this crowd was roaring to start the game. This is a different crowd than it was just a half an hour ago. Will this defense respond? Ward on 3rd down quickly gets it out as Lyle tries to fight for the line to make, and I think they're going to mark him short based on that, as TJ Searcy was there defensively.
That's a great tackle by Searcy out in space. 265-pound defensive end out in space against the running back.
Dylan Joyce out to punt away. Jim DK back to return for the Gators. Defense did their job. Coming up on 3.5 minutes before halftime with Kevin and Booger in the studio. First punt of the day for Miami, and Miami will use a timeout. Joyce boots it away. As DK's driven all the way back to the 10-yard line, but he splits defenders and makes a good return of it out to the 29. Jim DK, the transfer from Wisconsin. See how Graham Mertz will manage this. 3.5 minutes until halftime. We'll start on the ground with Johnson, who turns the corner, and here goes Montrell Johnson. Hello, Swamp. Go ahead and let him hear it. That was their first play over 20 yards today, and it goes for 71. The roaring legs of Montrell Johnson, just when they needed it most to make it a touchdown margin.
And that was tremendous athleticism by Florida center Jake Slaughter, who was pulling outside on that play. Now, they also brought their guard Harris, and Miami safety Jaden Harris took a very bad angle downhill, and Montrell Johnson was able to get outside. It's coming this way, and the pin is there. It's a very athletic front that Florida has, and it's not just the zone scheme, but they're pulling centers and guards and tackles to get bigger bodies at the point of attack. And Florida's leading rusher for the last 2 seasons, the transfer from Louisiana, Montrell Johnson, shows you the speed.
This is a guy who had a knee procedure earlier this month. You know, we've done games in the past with him, and the story of his relationship with his mom. They're from New Orleans, and she'll drive all the way across I-10 from Louisiana week after week to come to games here at the Swamp. A 71-yard touchdown to get the Gators back into this thing before halftime. I mentioned he was playing with his staff back at Louisiana. An incredible relationship with Jabbar Jaloop, the running back coach, who really is like a father figure to Montrell. They're very, very close.
You know, it's interesting, Joe, that last play just kind of changed everything, not just for the Gators, but I think for this home crowd as well. You know, they were down 17-3, sputtering a little bit on offense, and you had mentioned it too. Yeah. It sounded different, not like it did in the beginning. They were starting to drown out. Long home run by Montrell Johnson, and all of a sudden the Swamp is back.
Everybody's coming over and saying, all right, Montrell, that's just what we needed, my man. 71 yards, and Gator country is alive. Martinez, he tries to catch that seam, and he darts out past the 30. Shamar James, who had the interception earlier, tripped him up.
Now, conversely, you know, if you're the Gator defense here, trying to ride this momentum a little bit, how big would it be to get a stop, get the ball back, and with 2 timeouts, give Graham Mertz an opportunity to go steal some more points?
Super talented Miami offense now facing the roar of the swamp. With Ward and Martinez, the coveted prizes of the transfer portal. Here's Martinez on 2nd and 4. He's going to be a yard short. It'll be 3rd and short. Denson made the tackle. Remember, we told you this year in college football, there's the 2-minute timeout.
Offense has to get going. Before that touchdown, only 82 yards of offense for the Gators. They got to get more than a big play.
Pass to you. Take it away.
All right, 3rd down and 1, and it was Martinez straight ahead for a 1st down for Miami.
So remember, Miami has the lead, obviously, and they're going to get the ball first in the second half. You've got a quarterback playing his first game in this offense, in this tough environment. How comfortable are they letting him just go 2-minute up tempo and start slinging it around to try to score more points? I think he's done enough and shown enough in the first half to earn that opportunity, Joe, but it looks like they're just going to try to play it safe here and take it in with the lead.
And Ward goes to Brown. There were no timeouts, and clock is ticking down under a minute and a half to play. Denson with the tackle.
And a nice tackle by Denson, too, because that time Brown was trying to get to outside and get out of bounds to stop the clock.
2nd and 2. As Ward checks at the line. You can see Shamar James making the adjustment for the Gators defense. Martinez, as he just puts all that weight and power behind it. And Tyreek Sapp was the first to get to him, but that'll be a 1st down for Miami. No timeouts for Miami.
I think if you're the Canes, you got to be thinking about your kicker, Andres Borregales, one of the best in the country. He had a 51-yarder against Florida State a year ago. So in Cam Ward's mind, you're thinking if we can get somewhere near the 35-yard line here, we're in Borregales' range.
Ward gets it complete, threw it behind Arroyo, but complete. And now Miami all of a sudden is right there in prime position to strike.
We talked about the athleticism of Arroyo and why they were so excited. 250 pounds, looking like Jimmy Graham, stretching the field vertically. Make that big catch.
Ward to the end zone, incomplete, as he was looking for Horton. 50 seconds remain. 2nd down and 10. Ward, quick strike, and into the end zone goes Xavier Restrepo. How about that drive by the Canes? 24-yard touchdown. It didn't take long when Cam Ward and the play caller Shannon Dawson made a decision. They came right down the field.
I think it was a coverage bust on the back end by the Gators. They buzz out, and it's Jakeem Jackson who also runs with it. And it's Restrepo that runs inside, wide open on the smash route. 2 guys covering the same. There was some hesitation, and Cam Ward does not need a big window to take advantage of that. We saw coverage bust be a big issue for a very young and inexperienced Gators defense.
Boy, did he. A 24-yard touchdown to Restrepo. It in 2 minutes and 36 seconds. Katie.
You know, Tess, when Shannon Dawson pitched Cam Ward on Miami, he said, I can't promise you you're going to throw for more yards. I can't promise you you'll throw it 60 times per game. But I can promise you that you'll be surrounded by better players and you'll win more games than you have. Come learn how to manage every aspect of this offense and show you're the complete package. And so far, so good, Jesse.
So far, so good, Katie. You're right. You've seen a whole lot of different offense. This isn't just what we saw at Incarnate Word or Washington State where he's in the gun. There's a bunch of receivers everywhere. You've seen Cam Ward under center in this game. You've seen him making checks to the line of scrimmage, changing protections, RPOs, changing the run game, total control of the offense. And Katie, that's exactly what Shannon Dawson promised him.
Here's Mertz on the split shadows of the field in mid-afternoon, and he's taken down. That was Kiki Mauanoa, as Kiko Mauanoa just comes crashing down on Graham Mertz.
You're talking about one of the best blitzing linebackers in the country. At 230 pounds, man, when he decides to go downhill, he gets the football. 7.5 sacks a year ago, tied for the team lead. He's just a wrecking crew.
Absolute heart and soul of the defense is Kiko Mauanoa. As that clock is running down, Cam Ward, and the Canes. And Miami will get the ball to start the second half. So it's a big moment for the Florida defense to try to come up with a stop here.
So far, Joe, he looks the part.
Here's Mark Fletcher, who had a touchdown run in the first half, but he's wrapped up right away by Pup Howard.
But Mario Cristobal did say we got to eliminate the dumb stuff, the substitutions, the burning of timeouts here in the second half.
Second down and 9 as he quickly gets it to the outside to Sam Brown. First half stats are brought to you by Bud Light. Look at the total yards, 283 to 145.
And the balance as well. They've done a really good job running it. They've done a really good job throwing it. They've been trying to keep this Gator defense on their heels.
Here's Ward, good protection, and he gets it on the inside to Restrepo, who turns around, spins free, and gets all that extra yardage. Xavier Restrepo, one of the best around.
And that is an outstanding route by Restrepo in the slot. They got him matched up with Turner, the transfer safety coming from Washington. He's going to run a whip. He's up here running out. Turner takes it, puts his foot in the ground, comes back to the inside. In a man-to-man situation, he just loses the safety.
Asa Turner, their starting safety, who's coming off that run to the college football playoff national championship game with Washington, was a big piece of the puzzle, this defensive backfield. He has been down on the turf after this play, and the medical team out to see him.
Yeah, well, I mean, one of the big problems for the Gators defense at the end of last year, they had 2 true freshmen playing at the safety position, and that kind of demonstrated itself with a lot of problems. Bringing in an experienced veteran that's played in big games like Asa Turner was really supposed to sort of shore stuff up on the back end, and they really felt when you paired him with freshman All-American Jordan Castell that the safety position went from a place of weakness now to one of strength.
Miami opens up this second half, gets right down to the Florida 29-yard line. Ward off play action. It's going to check down underneath to Fletcher. Fletcher, look at him go inside the 10, and it's going to be first and goal Canes.
And another great decision that time by Ward. He just knows he's got Fletcher in the flat, checking out of the backfield, gets it to him early, makes it easy and catchable for the running back.
They have 6 plays now over 20 yards. This is a very talented Miami offense. Gets it out quick again. Here's Brown to the corner. And they're going to mark him down inside the 1-yard line. Sam Brown, he's the transfer from Houston, who they're super high on.
Taking a look back, ball in his right hand. The question is, does his knee touch the ground before that? And if it does, where's the ball in relation to the plane, to the goal line?
As he spins around, does his knee drag? Now listen, it could be anything but the bottom of the shoe, correct, Matt Austin?
That's correct. And the view from the pylon cam, it does look like his right shin does drag on the grass.
Yeah, there it is.
He swung around.
There it is. And that's why I framed it that way. It doesn't have to be the knee. It could be any part of his body outside of the bottom of the shoe. And watch the shin here, as Matt points out. Right there.
Yeah. Any chance they can get to quiet down the swamp, they want to do that. And
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. Second down.
As a blocking back, Fletcher, the tailback, as he goes up and tries to get over, and it is a touchdown. Mark Fletcher is in again, his second of the day.
They're able to cap it off in the end. We talked about in this running game, there's not a lot of mystery. They just line up mano-a-mano and just go right down the middle, and that time Mark Fletcher goes up and over. Didn't look like the ball crossed the plane initially, but he got dumped into the end zone.
We discussed it when we started the second half, saying if you're the Florida defense, you know Miami's getting the ball to start this thing. You gotta get a stop. And instead, it was a 6-play drive that went 75 yards.
People thought could compete in the ACC. They went down to Vandy today. So when you look at the talent Miami has and you look at the schedule they have, it does look like...
You look at Miami and you say, wow, could this be the year that everything they talked about now comes to fruition? Let's see if Florida has any sort of an answer here in this second half. Graham Mertz with time goes over the middle, and he's able to get it complete to Khalil Jackson.
In order to do so, you've got to separate from the pack.
Now Johnson smartly just secures the ball.
So third down, Joe, 0 for 5 for the Gators so far in this game. They have really struggled in this critical D&D.
And now it's a 3rd and 13. Mertz steps up, being pressured and being driven down and sacked. As Simeon Barrow right on top of him. Elijah Alston involved as well. And Jaden Harris was the first to get in there.
Well, they brought the safety off the edge, and Florida's got a massive 345-pound tackle that's trying to block a much smaller guy. He's just struggling with the speed. He just can't get there. Mixing up the blitzes, bringing it from different levels.
Crawshaw's 4th punt of the day. Ray Joseph from the 6-yard line. And he is met on special teams well.
Mike Elko takes over at Texas A&M. That's going to be a lot of fun to watch. By the way, Connor Wigman.
Yes.
Maybe one of the better quarterbacks in the country. A lot of people might not be familiar with the Texas A&M. Missed most of last season with an injury. Very special player, but he's throwing up against one of the best secondaries in the country at Notre Dame.
There's that sidearm as he goes to Arroyo with blockers in front. Elijah Arroyo, and he could be a breakout star. Sort of has that Jimmy Graham-esque body to him. 23 yards to Arroyo. Fletcher back on the ground as he lowers his shoulder.
But Joe, you see how decisive Cam Ward is?
Yes.
There really has not been that big of a learning curve having come from Washington State.
There's Lyle as he will move the chains again.
Well, this offense can beat you however they need to.
Here's Ward. Steps up. Able to free himself, launches downfield inside the 10, and it was batted away. He was looking for Sam Brown.
Jordan Castell is playing safety back there. And you want to talk about a guy that was an impact freshman a year ago, got forced into the starting lineup, 11 starts on the year. He led the team in tackles. He's got so much range. He's a young player that they're going to be able to build around.
Second and 10, gets it up quickly again. Ball came loose. I don't know that it was a completion, but if it's a live ball, it's in the hands of Douglas. Douglas is returning it, and they're treating it that way.
I don't think it was ever a catch. It was definitely a forward pass. I think this is going to be deemed incomplete.
That's the way I saw it live, Jesse. Let's see if the officials agree. But they treated it like a live ball.
Ruling on the field is a completion, then fumble recovered by Florida. First down, Florida.
I don't see a completion there.
Well, no, and it also definitely wasn't a lateral. I mean, that ball's moving forward. Right there, Brown's not able to bring it in. It goes down. That should be a pretty quick review.
For the review, the rule on the field is an incomplete pass. It'll be third down.
That's a good overturn.
It is, and it's quick. Third down and 10. Ward with time downfield and just lofts it to Horton, who secures it. 27 yards. He's making it look easy, isn't Cam Ward? A little too much on that as he's looking for Ray Joseph. I mentioned 22 first downs because of the differential here. It's so stark. 22 first downs for Miami, 8 for Florida.
You'd never know that this was an offense with a quarterback that had only played a half inning. I mean, they look like a well-oiled machine. Communication, and we thought that was going to be a big challenge. New rule this year in college football, headset communication between the coach and the quarterback, and would Cam Ward be able to communicate with his teammates? Would he be able to hear in this noise? Would he be able to function? It just hasn't been a problem. The offense is just a well-oiled machine.
Lyle. And he's taken down in the backfield by Shamar James, who had the interception earlier today.
Yeah, he completely blew that up. And he's a guy they're happy to get back healthy. He missed 4 games at the end of last year with the knee injury. As soon as he sees a gap, he's downhill with his speed and able to make the tackle for loss. So here's another big 3rd down. And who can be the guy for the Gators? I mean, TJ Searcy is a guy, number 19, that they were really hoping could step up and assume that role. Right now they've got him lined up inside.
They're down and 11. Ward able to spin free of Searcy and then goes to the end zone, and in the back of the end zone it is Jacoby George. My oh my, Cam Ward's having himself a day. '23-yard touchdown catch, tiptoeing that back line by George.
It's like he's just out for a walk. It's like, look at his face, look at his demeanor. Look at the poise is ridiculous. And the catch in the back of the end zone and make sure he got 2 feet down.
You know, Mario Cristobal said to us yesterday, he said, listen, this is a guy who's got drive and determination, and that is what makes him charismatic. His charisma is when you just absorb that drive and determination. And he said to us, he's going to be successful at absolutely anything in life. It just so happens he's successful. 300 yards passing and 3 touchdown passes here in the 3rd quarter. The big new addition to Miami, among many new additions to Miami. Unbelievable. That was then, and this is now. Montrell Johnson with a 71-yard touchdown run earlier. And when we say toughest schedule, I mean, we're not just talking about right now in college football. 2nd and 7, that's incomplete.
3 times in a row.
That's right. There's Mertz. They go with the inside tunnel. Wilson trying to weave his way along. Listen, Wilson's their best playmaker by far, but they just got to find a way to utilize him.
Yeah, and find time for Graham Mertz to allow Wilson to get downfield. Every throw we've seen to him in this game has been very short. It's been jet sweeps. It's been throws to the flat, swing routes. At some point, Graham Mertz needs to have time to be able to stretch the field throwing to number 3.
Johnson on 2nd and 5 and a good run past midfield. So he has arrived to the stadium to get ready for that primetime game that Kirk and Chris will have tonight. Mertz, he is torn down. That was Tyler Barron, the big transfer from Tennessee, as this loaded defensive line is showing themselves.
Tyler Barron just walked a 240-pound Arliss Boardingham right back into the quarterback. And it's a D-end against the tight end who's more of a finesse pass catcher than he is a blocker.
Makes for a 2nd and 17. And they're going to run the ball with Johnson. He is tackled for a loss. He is brought down by Alston. And that's 3rd and 20. Mertz, he has time, but obviously in 3rd and 20, long way to go as he connects with Elijah Badger.
Well, the clock is starting to go off a lot faster in Mertz's head. Nice job anticipating that throw way before Badger turned around. They get a big chunk of yardage back. Good news, bad news. They're 0 for 7 on 3rd down now. In another obvious passing situation, they've got to help the edge. They got to help these tackles because the speed for Miami up front's been a problem.
So here's a 4th down. It's 4th and 8. As they got 12 yards back when it was 3rd and 20. 4th down for Mertz. Gets it out quickly and gets it complete for a 1st down. That was well done to connect with the transfer Elijah Badger. Went for 12 yards on a 1st down. Mertz. And a little pressure coming off the edge. Tried to get it to Mizell, but it goes incomplete. And that was one of the matchups that all week long people pointed to as a distinct advantage for Miami. Here's Mertz. He keeps it himself and slides down with a 1st down. Johnson tackled for a loss.
Yeah, Lance Guidry, it feels like he's dialing up safety blitzes almost every play now. Someone's coming off the edge. That time, Jaden Harris coming off scot-free, and they're switching it up, right side, left side.
Pico Maui-Noa also involved with Harris on that play. Play drive for Florida here, trailing by 4 touchdowns. Mertz. That ball is picked off. It is Powell on the return. Mish Powell still on his feet. Mish Powell with the interception and the big return that forces Treyon Webb to finally tackle him, and Graham Mertz is still down after throwing that pass.
He took a massive hit from Tyler Barron right after he let go of it. He wasn't able to look off the Washington transfer Powell.
This is seen moments ago as Mertz was taken off the field after that big collision he absorbed.
Yeah, Florida is, looking at this again. I think Miami's lucky that wasn't roughing the passer, because it looked like 93 Anthony Campbell swatted Graham Mertz right in the face.
Final moments here of the third quarter. And already the most points given up by a Florida team in a home opener ever, as in 117 seasons of football ever. 38-10. Martinez looking for anything, can't find much against that Florida front. TJ Searcy and the rest of them on the tackle. And who knows, maybe we'll see DJ Lagway. DJ Lagway is the most coveted freshman quarterback. He was the big recruit, #1 quarterback recruit in the class of 23, and the future of Florida is bright with DJ Lagway, and we may see his first college action in moments. (38-10) as we start the fourth quarter, with the new additions to the Miami backfield, Ward and Martinez, as they go with Restrepo on the end around looking to pass, and he does, and it nearly was completed to Sam Brown. So Miami opens up with the
Sam
play.
Brown, you've got to put 2 hands up and make that catch.
Third and 9 for Cam Ward as he's being chased nearly back to midfield, and he launches it away. That was Sapp who was coming after him. Let's look at Restrepo's throw again. In film this week for the field goal, his older brother Jose won the Lou Groza Award 4 years ago. Mario Cristobal said, "I wish the Borregales family had even more children." That one is off the mark. One of the best kickers in the country.
He's the latter.
And you hear the roar from the crowd because DJ Lagway is on the field. Who is he? Well, he was the best quarterback in high school football coming out, and Florida landed him, the true freshman that they've been waiting to see from Willis, Texas. One of the coaches told us this week, we're going to rip the Band-Aid off. So say hello to college football, DJ Lagway. As Treyon Webb tries to push ahead.
Was the #1 ranked dual threat QB prospect coming out of high school. He has a lot of people excited because he just has things he can't coach. He has tremendous arm talent, a very quick release. He's also an excellent runner, and the zone read game becomes more of a priority now, I think, for Billy Napier with Lagway in the game.
And Lagway is taken down for a tackle for loss by Tyler Barron, the veteran, who played at Tennessee and then came over to Miami. 3rd down and 12 for the true freshman, game 1 against this Miami team. There's Lagway trying to extend the play on 3rd and 12, throws it downfield and incomplete.
Tyler Barron, man, he has really picked up the slack. He's been impressive.
He had a strong 4 years at Tennessee, had 13.5 sacks there. Going to let this ball bounce, and it will do so, and down inside the 25-yard line. Huge crowd at the Plaza of the Americas.
I know. You were doing a great job playing to the jib cam.
You're out of control. Oh, you were doing a great job showing off the J. Palmer clothing line to the crowd there. Your new book. Congratulations on that, by the way.
Yeah, it's available on fanatics.com. It'll be available this month. Elevated sports apparel, Joe Testa.
Is that the log line?
Yeah,
Is that the log line we're going with?
That's what we're going with.
Right now it needs to be breathable because, I mean, we are just sweating through everything here. The suit, everything, you name it. It's just so... It's a long day to be sitting in the heat when your team is down by 28 points. And you're facing Cam Ward in this offense. Jordan Lyles, the running back. He's from Fort Lauderdale. He's the top running back recruit in the country. He was originally committed, and here he is, Lyle, to Penn State, and then they flipped him to play for Mario Cristobal.
Just from an eye test standpoint, I would say right now, Miami is the best team in the ACC.
Oh, I think that's a very fair assessment at this point. Cam Ward could not get free as he was taken down there.
Cam Ward can also not get injured.
No.
And so if you're Mario Cristobal, 38-10 with less than 12 minutes to go in a game that seemingly is in hand, I think you might want to start putting him on a bit of a pitch count.
And Emory Williams has experience, the young quarterback who many viewed as the future of the program, played 5 games last year. And then he had the arm fracture in November. Dylan Joyce on to punt for the Canes. DK fields it near the 30-yard line. Decent return out to about the 42-yard line. DJ Lagway, the true freshman quarterback, getting playing time. And there's his first completion of his college career as it goes to Trey Wilson.
And you see the natural arm talent and also the quick release. When DJ Lagway commits to this throw, it comes out fast, and it just looks a little bit different.
A year ago, he was the National Gatorade Player of the Year for high school football. And now Mertz got injured earlier, and with the score this way, no matter, it's good time for Lagway as he connects with Wilson again.
And I like the idea of calling plays, and it's easy slant completions to try to get the true freshman in a rhythm. And honestly, it's been pretty good coverage by Miami, but the arm talent by Lagway is just fitting it into very small windows, and also really good location for Wilson.
Listen, covering Florida recruiting is sort of a sport unto itself, and DJ Lagway's recruitment and getting him here to campus was an incredible story for the Gators as takes it ahead here. And for those who do that, they will tell you he is considered to be the most significant recruit going all the way back to Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
DJ Lagway.
And because he's the type of guy that other recruits are going to want to come here to Gainesville to play with. If you're a wide receiver, you're going to want to catch passes from this guy. A lot of people believe he has the ability to change and turn the trajectory of this program. There. And like maybe in a few years, that shirt will say, I miss DJ Lagway.
Yeah, exactly. Sure says, I miss Tim Tebow. 2nd and 9, short pitch. Jackson with a nice run. Jacoby Jackson, the JUCO transfer in 2023.
Help his true freshman quarterback a little more than you could a year ago.
First down, play action, Lagway. That ball was deflected and falls incomplete. A few weeks ago, you and I had a lengthy conversation about the coach-to-player communication, the headset and the helmet. And one of the things that we discussed was the advantage for young players. It's like training wheels.
That's right. Yeah, and this is a perfect example for that. Get him to play quickly, and you allow him to communicate that with the teammates, but you have until there's 15 seconds left on the play clock before the communication shuts off. You can use that time to just hold his hand a little bit and help him with his thought process.
Second and 10. Jackson again cannot find anything this time as Motens, senior, made the tackle. 3rd down and 12. Lagway steps up. Now he's going to have to run it, and he's going to do so and get the first down and set up a 1st and goal. So, listen, there's some hope here. Boy, we've seen through the years the surrender cobra pose, and then you got the I don't know where you go with this, just the chin on the wall.
Yeah.
Just depressed, and I'm going to...
Just a French bulldog.
Yeah.
Is not getting enough attention. You take a look at the largest opener losses for the Gators. 87 against Miami, 27. 1908, 24 points to Mercer.
And now the most points given up by Florida in a home opener ever.
Ever. As an ever.
1st and goal. Lagway trying to get his first touchdown pass.
We've seen a little bit of poise from the true freshman quarterback here in the last few minutes.
Webb trying to spin his way in for a touchdown. And it is a score for Florida. And their first points. I mean, he's unimpressed by that.
I mean, look what's in your right hand. This early, DJ Lagway in only a second drive in a Gator uniform, leading him down for a score against the starting defense of Miami.
And then Trey smacks it through. And, see, concrete wall guy's now smiling, but the only reason is because his phone's blowing up because we were taking shots of him. Florida and Miami, interesting moment happened in 2003. Devin Hester's first time he touched the ball in college football.
Yeah, it took special teams coordinators a while to figure out not to kick the ball to Devin Hester. What do you have, 20 return touchdowns?
Growing up in South Florida where you have a lot of teammates, a lot of friends that play for Florida as well as UM. So once you get to this college collegiate level, the same mentality. We're battling it out for the best team in Florida.
Your first ever collegiate touch was that 97-yard kickoff return against Florida in the Orange Bowl. What do you remember about that moment?
It was my first time playing in the Orange Bowl and first time touching the ball in the Orange Bowl. I took a 97-yard kickoff return back against you-know-who, the Florida Gators. So that's my first time welcoming to the college level.
Can you still take one back today?
Most definitely.
What's been your impressions of Cam Ward today? He's lit it up.
Cam is really impressive. The poise that he has. I was telling a lot of guys out here, it look like this is 10th year playing college football. Everything is so slow motion to him. He's calm. You don't never see him get upset, never get rattled. I'm looking for a great season with this guy here.
What do you think that the expectations could be given how they played today?
Sky's the limit. You know, as a former Hurricane and as a fan, we've been looking for a team like this for a while now. And to come out and see what these guys put on today was very impressive. And I can't wait to see the next games.
Thank you so much for the time.
Thank you so much for having me.
And Devin Hester knows the guy who was most impressive was Cam Ward, who's still in the game here.
Yeah, he is. Well, I think he'd be out of the game had DJ Lagway not led that touchdown drive. 21 points, crazier things have happened. Remember, if you're Miami and what happened late in the game against Georgia Tech a year ago, that's something that kind of lingers. And I know the situation's a little bit different, but you'd want to keep this thing in hand. I don't think you're going to see Cam Ward throw it again. I think you're going to see a lot of handoffs to the 230-pound running back beside him, Damian Martinez.
Martinez, the big bruiser from Oregon State. He was there for a couple years, ran for over 2,100 yards playing for Oregon State. Here's Ward scrambling around. Casually slings it downfield and gets it complete inside the 20. He is almost too relaxed, Jesse. It's unbelievable. 351 yards and 3 touchdowns, and showing these Mahomes-esque arm angles time and again. Short pitch to Martinez. Martinez looking for something into the boundary. Not going to find much. Just goes ahead for a yard before he's driven out. You're breaking a defense's will, desire to tackle, desire to engage. Great point by you. As Martinez,
but you see how the
muscles ahead.
The pile's just moving a little bit differently now, and it's big bodies up front, but it's also 230-pound running backs, and Fletcher and Martinez toting the rock as well. This is going to be a problem for defenses all year long facing Miami. Your physicality and your will is going to be tested.
And much like in a fight, if you make those deposits in the early and middle rounds, if you commit to the power running game in the first and second and third quarter, you get the payoff in the later rounds. You get the payoff in the fourth.
You got to be patient.
You deposit into the bank with the body shots. Right. You deposit into the bank with the power running game. Here's 3rd and 5. Ward's out of the backfield, threw a little behind Damian Martinez, so it goes incomplete.
But I mean, it's so nice as an offense to be able to say, you know what, we can go out and we can make deposits early.
Yes.
We can run the football, and we've got some talent in the backfield, and we've recruited well on the offensive line. And oh yeah, by the way, we've got a guy whose Heisman Trophy campaign just kicked off today here in Gainesville.
Hey, listen, that's a real conversation. It did. And I know, listen, it's way too early. But you think about their schedule, you think about the conference, you think about where they're going to be lining up potentially for the college football playoff and how special a year it could be with the talent, as Borregales will put it through. He's going to be a guy.
If he can stay healthy.
If he can stay healthy, he's going to be a guy. Cam Ward comes over from Washington State, and he's put 41 points up against a Florida team that felt very good about the additions they made to this roster, felt very good about the coaching staff being enhanced with Ron Roberts as the co-DC, with Will Harris coming over to coach the defensive backs, and it's the most points allowed in a home opener, and they added to it.
Recruited Riley Leonard, or knows what he's good at doing at the quarterback position and how to affect him, or is it Riley Leonard that knows Mike Elko's defensive schemes, having practiced against it all the time? In this game, it's going to be a cat and mouse matchup.
There's Jaden Ball, the true freshman from Atlanta.
Guy that if he can stay healthy, it can be special offensively.
Short pitch to Ball, and Ball cuts back and goes upfield.
Number 2 and number 13, those are two guys that you might see lined up beside each other for years to come here in Gainesville.
Here is DJ Lagway. And DJ Lagway slides down. He's 20 yards rushing. He's got 31 passing, but he got great support when he came on the field from these fans. They believe he is the entire future of the Florida program, and he's getting time right away. And he was hit as he throws that time, and it goes for an interception. That's incredible that Jaden Harris was laying on his back, and the ball just happened to land on him as Barrow got in and made the hit on Lagway. The ball literally landed on Jaden Harris for an interception.
Also a really nice catch by Harris on his back. Are they still doing the turnover chain in Miami? I don't.
They do whatever they want at this point.
I mean, it's just, okay.
And that tells you, as you see the Florida fans heading to the portal, this was a complete sellout. This was the buzz for weeks and weeks. Get a ticket for Florida and Miami in Gainesville.
I don't know, man, Joe. It's like just when you look at Miami, maybe year 3 could be a magical year for Mario Cristobal here in Miami. I mean, like, they've got the talent through high school and through the portal. He's got 2 coordinators that are now in the 2nd year running their systems. There's a little bit more familiarity. They've got the schedule. You think about last year, Steve Sarkisian, Kalen DeBoer taking their teams to the college football playoff in their 3rd years. Urban Meyer won a national title in his 3rd year at Ohio State. Les Miles in 2007 did.
Yes.
Brian Kelly went to the national championship game in his 3rd year at Notre Dame. I mean, that year has been special, and we've seen it before.
And when you look at this team in the trenches, that is where I look at them and say they are different. He's an offensive line guy, so you know what you're always getting there. But the defensive line and the additions there, time as the Miami fans are celebrating deep into the afternoon here at the Swamp between the Canes and the Gators. All Hurricanes fans wanted to see what Cam Ward would look like. Well, how's 350 yards and 3 touchdown passes look? Or you can add to the yardage with Lofton. Elijah Lofton. This is an athletic freak out of Las Vegas, the true freshman H-back who's so versatile, so strong. One of the top-ranked tight ends in the country coming out of high school, and he gave you a glimpse there, Jesse.
Yeah, from the powerhouse Bishop Gorman High School in Vegas, as you mentioned. You've got a game against Sanford next season where you can try to clean up some of this before a pretty talented Texas A&M team comes back to Gainesville, but on both sides of the ball, there's a lot to clean up if you're Billy Napier and this coaching staff.
Timeout used with 1:08 to play.
Penalties, missed tackles, busts, not enough pass rush. There's a lot that needs to improve if the Gators are going to be competitive with that schedule.
A.J. Allen going to close things out at running back for Miami. A reminder, you got Notre Dame and Texas A&M coming up. Spectacular opening week of college football. Boy, what a fun time we had in Ireland, by the way. I mean, has week 0 ever been better than that? with the Georgia Tech big win against Florida State, and now you roll that right into this week 1.
And a phenomenal environment here at the Swamp. It was rocking early. You can't say enough about the Miami Hurricanes, though. And Cam Ward, and the thing I'm going to take away from this performance from him, Joe, it's not just the throwing and the talent and his ability to run, but the poise and how he handled situations, right? And the way he responded after throwing an interception, leading his team down for a touchdown, how he played with a 2-minute situation at the end of the first half. Scrambling around, not throwing it away, but throwing a beautiful touchdown pass at the end of the third quarter. The moment was never too big for him. He was able to handle this crowd at the Swamp. It's hard to imagine a better first game, and Mario Cristobal has got to be very pleased, not just with Cam Ward, but his football team really in all 3 phases.